I am Otto Holz, Captain of the Solland Reclaimers. Our number have been requisitioned by Balthasar Gelt, Supreme Patriarch of the Colleges of Magic. We simple fighting men will never divine the true intentions of a wizard. We know only our orders. We return to Solland proper to protect those southern borders in the name of the Empire. We are all driven by our loss at the Battle of Solland's Crown, when our leader, Elector Count Eldred, stood defiant against the Greenskin tide. Outnumbered and left alone, our people slew thousands of the bastards to no avail. The Count was slain, our lands destroyed, and later taken by Wissenland. We return home now. Whether orc, undead, or demon confront us, they will know only our blades. With the magic of the Golden Wizard, we will see Solland reclaimed.
We begin our campaign right outside of Fyldorf. We own only one location in Solland proper. Unfortunately, the Greenskins own Steingart right over here to the east. The goal of our army is to cleanse all Greenskin corruption here. Now, for a further objective, we're going to go after Sylvania, far to the east. Everything down here is going to be liberated and purged. That way we'll be able to focus on other goals. Gelt is a wizard, and naturally wizards have their inclinations, so we're going to ensure that we do every single quest of his. That way he has even more power and more sway in the Empire. Now, what we'll do with our army, we could recruit more. We're going to wait to do that. As right now, we have a pretty good force. We've got great swords, 3 groups of swordsmen, spearmen, 2 groups of crossbowmen. We've got outriders, 1 crew for our great cannon, and over here another one for our mortars. Now that's a pretty steady amount of firepower. When it comes to our technology, I'm going to pick up tithe rebates. Why? Because I'll get more growth from my towns. I have only 1 town right now, but that is going to help out. And we need to worry about control. We don't want rebellions here or other creatures trying to cause issues. After that, we'll go after state troop standards. Why? Well, +5 leadership is okay, and so is +5% speed. But to me, what's imperative is that we pick up expert charge defense for our halberdiers. If we have that, we're not going to have to worry about the charge bonus whenever large creatures come to charge at that group of soldiers. Now, let's get ready for this battle right over here. But before that, we need to look at Fyldorf. We have a training field. It goes only up to tier 3. A city is naturally able to go up to tier 5. So eventually we're going to destroy that training field. For now, though, we do need it, especially if we want to recruit some units. All right. What do they have over here? Very few units. Boris Goblin Spider Riders. They've got archers, goblins. They're dead. Go find them. The Runfang of Solland, a symbol of an Elector Count's position, was lost after the Battle of Solland's Crown. That is until a group of dwarf adventurers delved into the World's Edge Mountains and retrieved it. They returned it to the Imperial Treasury, and Karl Franz gave it to Gelt. In this case, Gelt has handed it over to Captain Otto as a token of trust. Before we begin our battle, it's important to go over Gelt and Otto's plan. Back over here, we have our great cannon crew. They have a great range of 450. Over to the left, we have our mortars. They have a range of 380, so they're a bit closer. We want to ensure they're able to attack from the very beginning. Right by Captain Otto, we have the great sword group, 105 armor total. For Captain Otto, he's able to debuff his enemies because he's got that Runfang. That's going to diminish what they have when it comes to leadership by 8. Now, to the right of my swordsmen, we've also got my spears. My spears are over here, ready to counter any type of mounted unit, like their spider riders. Then we have my outriders who are already moving forward. Their job is to harass and attack their spider riders. Now, for the little greenskin army that we're facing, all goblins, they're over here. They've got 3 groups of spears total, and they've also got archers. Now, our mortar is going to shell them and weaken them. Their shaman is going to be able to offer a few attacks, unfortunately, but we're going to deal with it. And early on, I'm going to use Gelt in a rather risky way. You're going to see that quite a bit. There we go. We're now attacking them. We were hit by 1 spell from that great shaman. I won't do it so much later on, but If Gelt takes a few lumps, he's going to be okay. Usually, a unit will take some damage before they begin to lose models. And for Gelt, he just needs to not get knocked out, and he's going to be alright. Here comes Gelt over here, ready to charge at what they have. We're just trying to lure the Spider Riders. They're under attack right now by my Great Cannon crew. Here comes another spell from that Shaman. Now, hitting Gelt, but he's going to be fine. They're also charging over here after our captain, who again is debuffing their leadership just by being close to them. And there's a burning, searing doom right from Gelt, at least damaging a few of the goblins. The Spider Riders are now fleeing, which means it's about time to move up our swordsmen. They're going to have to maintain a new front line. We're going to have to pivot just a little bit. Our captain and Gelt are moving back. The spears are on their way. My outriders are still attacking them. They're going to take a few hits from his archers, and there we go. Unfortunately, that shaman spell did hit my great swords, but have a look at that. 120 still. Not one died, but they did take some damage. The Spider Riders are back. They did hit our captain, but that's okay. We're back over here attacking them. And have a look at that. A Plague of Rust. They have no armor at all currently. So while that is happening, we're continuing to hammer at their archers. My swordsmen are also moving in. They're charging right over here. They're going to be able to easily counter what they have. And while that is going on, we'll continue to damage all of them. Here comes again a Searing Doom, obliterating the back part of their line. Our goal is to avoid friendly fire. Sometimes it may happen, but we're trying to avoid it. Those archers are being torn apart too. And we're about to flank those two groups of spears over to our left. They still do have their shaman. See how? They're moving over here. They're just gearing up. They're getting ready to charge right in. And while that's going on, my crossbows are moving a little bit closer to hit their flank. We've got to charge in right from behind. They've been caught from two sides. That's a great pincer. That shaman again is trying to stay busy. We're moving more swords over here. Let's back up real quick to get a better view of the battlefield. Right now, my outriders have charged into those archers. They're using melee to beat them. My crossbows over to the left. They're going to be able to attack if they want to. Again, we've got another Plague of Rust to reduce their armor. We need to watch out for friendly fire now. We lost one greatsword. They killed over 70. Now the goblins are dead. Over here, we've got my outriders who are just chasing down what's left of their archers. Our goal is to, again, stop using our artillery and to avoid any friendly fire. That shaman is still alive, but his army has been smashed. We just need to chase after him. There goes our brave captain. Already taking down that blasted goblin. Oh, he's having a bad day. He's not going to be able to get a spell off. That's our first battle. Our losses were minimal, and we were able to maximize our damage. We're going to have a great time. The Empire is one of my favorite factions for a good reason. They have a balanced feel to them, and you have a tool for every occasion. Gelt has now ranked up to level 2. If we have a look at our kills over here, the first Solland Braves were able to get 144 kills. Our captain, 21. Gelt, 35. Now down over here, our outriders, they got a majority of their kills whenever the battle was over, when our enemies were routing, but still, it's very handy. They've got 12 Forest Goblin Spider Riders left, and over here, their leader was not killed, which is fine. Now, we could gain more experience, or we could gain a little bit of gold. I'll take experience for right now, and because we want to kill any greenskins who are around. We're not here to be kind to them, not at any point. Now, at rank 2, what do we want over here? We could get 5% to our campaign movement range, which is okay, and usually I would go for that. We could go for Inspiring Presence to get more experience and leadership for our nearby units. Or we could come over here and pick up Searing Doom and upgrade that. That way we could do a bit more spell casting early on. We also do have a passive, Hold the Line, which is quite handy, but I'll let our captain take care of that. Instead, for now, we're going to pick up Inspiring Presence because we want to have a very veteran army. That, to me, is imperative. Now we're able to come over here to Steingart right away. Let's do that. It should be easy. Well, maybe. They've got Wolf Riders, 2 groups of Goblin Archers, 4 groups of Goblins, and, well, 1 Orc Boys unit. We'll see what we can do. Steingart was the second city of Solland, and now is a quiet farming town. With the capture of Steingart, Solland will be united. In time, Captain Otto hopes that it can be turned into a bustling trade city once again. The battle for Steingart now begins. Right over here we have the mainstay of the enemy orc army. We're going to go over their formation in just a moment. My mortars are already beginning to shell them. Now, that dealt a lot of damage. Let's have a look over here. We've got my great cannon crew on the front line. The mortars right behind them. To the right, I've got my great swords and my spearmen. To the left, I've got all of my swordsmen, 2 groups of crossbowmen. Now my outriders are moving out just to diminish my enemies a bit. While that is going on, we've got Gelt and our captain on the front line. Their intent is to draw the attacks of one arrow tower. That arrow tower is targeted by my great cannon. It'll take some time, but eventually we're going to be able to break it down. Let's have a look over here what my outriders are doing. They're going to target that group of goblins. It'll take some time, but they'll pick up a few kills. Right now, my enemies are buffed up a bit when it comes to leadership and melee defense. They have a type of siege defender buff. It's right over here. There we go. Let's come back and have a look at my enemies. Normally, I would divide up my army and attack multiple points, but because we've got artillery, I want to use it. I want to ensure that we minimize how much time that we spend in melee contact with our enemies. They are greenskins, even archers can be a pain to take down. But with my technology, with my gunpowder, got a good shot. That tower will be taken down in a few more hits, hopefully. Right over here, my outriders are dealing more damage. They've already taken out quite a large chunk of their health, which means probably a few more goblins are going to drop with every single volley. There we are. They have only 25 armor. Right over here, my outriders, well, they've got armor-piercing damage. They're able to negate a bit of that advantage. They have a missile strength of 30 total. There we go, 11 kills. Let's go back over here. We're just moving all around right now just to watch how things are playing out. And there we go, we're still attacking that tower. That tower has no kills because it's only trying to go after dear Gelt and Captain Otto. Ugh, what an ugly tower. Right by our town square, too. Get away from my imperial town, why don't you? So right now, we're going to have that tower destroyed. And down over here, we're just going to continue shelling as much as we can. Eventually, we're going to move in and attack. My outriders are moving back. They've got 21 kills. Those goblins were trying to pursue, and there we go. We got rid of that arrow tower. Look at that. They're running. And they're dropping like goblin flies. Ugh. It's like a fly, but crappier. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. It takes a bit for scouts over here or our outriders to accumulate kills, but once they begin to punch through, they do a lot of damage. It just depends on how you use them. I like to use them in melee whenever my enemies are fleeing. Right over here, they do have a barricade. I'm just trying to take away their archers because whenever I'm fighting them in melee, it's going to be in a position where I can't easily get around to flank my foes. So I want to ensure that they're falling apart. Right over here is another point that I could easily take. Let's have a look now. My units are going to have to move in very soon. We've got our captain and Gelt who are currently moving towards that town. I've moved my crossbows over to the left closer to my outriders. That way we're able to focus fire on these goblins who, again, are trying to charge out, but then they retreat right away. They can't do it. They were trying. Whenever I can, I try to focus fire. It's a great way to diminish enemy leadership and to maximize how much damage you're dealing to one unit. Rather than deal a little bit of damage to a lot of units, I like to completely destroy one unit at a time. Again, when possible. Sometimes you can't always do that due to positioning. There we go, they're running. Oh, those outriders are brutalizing all of them. They're just falling apart. That's a big one. That's a lot of body parts. While they do that, let's have a look over here again. it's going to be time for me to cast a few spells. Unfortunately, they did build another barricade. That was always going to happen though. They're just going to build those up, and they do have one arrow tower, but their line of sight is not great. Now we have more units moving in. Right by Gelt and our captain, we have our greatswords. To their right, our spearmen are going to break down that other barricade. While that is going on, we can see how much weaker the enemy forces are. 54 goblins in one group. They don't know where to defend or where to go. That arrow tower is going to take some time, but it's going to be back. I'm going to keep on destroying it. They've got a few forces moving over to my greatswords. That's fine, we want them to fight our greatswords. Our greatswords deal a lot of damage. They've got what, 32 for weapon strength, a charge bonus 2 of 18. So you do want them to charge in to get that nice alpha strike to do a lot of damage. If we zoom out and just have a look around, you can see that my artillery, my mortars are going to shell these archers again. Those are the ones I'm worried about. Just because if they linger, if they get a lot of attacks off, it's going to be an issue. There we go. One shell hit. They're attacking my greatswords. The captain and Gelt are moving in together, breaking down a few trading tents, unfortunately. They'll have to understand. Trading is probably not going well whenever you've got orcs in your town. They're like, here, have some teeth. You're like, I don't do that. And they're like, what? Right over here, a Searing Doom to hit these archers. That health is really diminished. Back over here, my Outriders are continuing to attack. They've got over 80 kills now. They're destroying them. Let's come back over here. We're currently taking 1 point. Their leader's group is currently broken. They'll probably break pretty soon. The archers are close by. They're being debuffed again by our Runfang. -8 to leadership, especially early on, is quite powerful. And it's a passive, so as long as you're close by, they're being hit by it. My greatswords now have over 30 kills. That arrow tower is back. And over here is where they have their town square defenses, but they're still trying to move outside of it. We do have, unfortunately, an arrow tower being built a little bit further away. They've got goblin wolf riders, but we've taken our first point. With that, we've got momentum. We want that to build up, but it's a minor buff. My great swords are now charging in again, right over here. Already, the orc boys are falling apart, and they're also being debuffed. They have no armor. Plague of Rust. They've been rusted. Over here is where we have Gelt and our captain. There's going to be points where Gelt will probably flee just because he's taking a lot of damage, but again, I would rather him take damage. My spearmen are now moving up. They're charging in too, also breaking apart these goblins, and doing a great job of it. They have their wolf riders on the way, but my greatswords are way too good. They have over 70 kills. If we zoom out and have a look again, we've got my swordsmen who are currently fighting these goblins. They have over 30 kills. They've taken some damage, but that happens. It's all due to that one arrow tower. That's what I'm talking about. Those arrow towers are nasty, but there's my great cannon trying to break it down. One more hit and it's gone. These goblins over here have broken. We'll chase them down. On our right flank, the great swords now have 80 kills. Their leader's unit is gone. Their wolf riders are broken. Ooh. These goblins are now being hit by great swords. That's how you get rid of a goblin. Now they're running too. It's all over. We have taken back our town. They've got their wolf riders who came back for another charge, but what are they going to be able to do? Not too much at all. Not too much at all. Look at that. They did look at Gelt and said, nope. I don't want to be gold. It's over. We've won.
We beat them and our losses were minimal again, but what can you expect? We're a disciplined army and they're greenskins. They don't even have their numbers yet. So early on, we're going to have some easier victories. Would I want to sack our own town? No. Raise it? Heck no. I want to occupy. It'll take time, but eventually there will be peace in the land. There we go, we've got a new follower, a pit fighter. Men fight better when their livelihood, not just their lives, is at stake.
So now we're able to capture a few more enemies after a battle.
Let us begin.
Okay, at rank 3, what do I want today? Again, I could buff up what I have over here. I could get a bit more movement range, or I could increase the capacity that I have for spellcasting. I like the idea of really helping out my infantry early on. That way they're able to really stand in a melee fight. I don't often do that, but here I'm doing it now. Okay, so at rank 6, I'll be able to pick up Hold the Line. Captain Otto Holz, you'll pick that up later. 20 experience is not a lot, but if you compound it with what we have, that's going to help. We should have a few new veterans very soon, at least I hope so. Over here in Steingart, we don't have too many options on what we're able to build. I could get more growth right now. I like that idea. Sure, we'll do that. I would like to upgrade my capital to tier 2, hopefully very soon. It's going to take a bit for right now. And I'm also able to pick up a new commandment to benefit the entire province. I think for right now, I would like a bit more control, so we're going to pick that up. And after that, I've got to figure out what I want. I can't get a regiment of renown, not yet. I can't get my Eldred's Guard, not yet. But for infantry, I'm able to pick up archers, or, well, spearmen, swordsmen, even Free Company Militia. I do like Free Company Militia, especially early on. I'll take one of them, and over here I'll take more spearmen. They've got anti-large capabilities. I also have one very important location right over here, Fort Soll. I wanted to upgrade quickly. The garrison is already quite large. However, we want more units and we want them now. We'll come over here to our commandments and I'll pick up, what, plus 20 to my growth here. That way we'll be able to grow a bit faster and then we'll be able to have a higher tier fort. Now, we don't want to go after the dwarfs over to the east. They're not unfriendly to me, not right now. Which means we need a new avenue of expansion. That's going to be the Southern Grey Mountains. We've got Karak Osgaraz, Gristle Valley, and 2 other dwarf holds, which are currently under their control, but of course, that could change up over time. So we've got our job now, and naturally we've got to hold on to Steingart. It's going to take time to build up our lands, but we have everything together. Now, we've got a bit of political maneuvering to do. We've got prestige. We've done well. We've won 2 battles already, and it's only turn 1. Who needs to like me more? The Emperor, sure, but also Wissenland, led by Eben von Leibwitz. There we go, plus 40 to our relations. I've got more prestige as well. I could get another faction to like me, like Averland. Again, these are my neighbors and I don't want them to fight me yet. One day, if they choose to, so be it. But there we go, Marius Lightdorf. He likes me more too. Now, we have only 30 prestige, but we'll work on that. Maybe in time, they'll follow Gelt. Captain Otto and Gelt are back over there in Fildorf. And close by, we've got a neutral Greenskin army. But of course, are any orcs truly neutral? I think not. If they're still around on our following turn, we'll go after them. Currently, they're attacking Wissenland. We could allow them to burn down some towns over here and take it over. That would benefit us, but we hate orcs a bit more, so we're not going to go down that underhanded route. And while we're here, let's pick up 2 groups of archers, 1 group of Free Company Militia. There we go. After that, we should be ready to move over here into the Southern Grey Mountains. It's going to be a dangerous expedition, but it's going to be beneficial, and we'll get a new trade good as well. Here's one strategic location. Wonder if it's going to be strategic for us. We'll find out.
Sigmund, it is good to see fellow sons of the Empire this day.
I can agree with that, Marius Lightdorf. Now, he's willing to have a free trade agreement. Why don't we have a military access treaty in addition to a non-aggression pact? And you should pay me a bit, 521 gold, I'll take that. There we are. So now we get along a lot better. Hopefully in time, they'll just join Gelt. That'll be ideal.
Let us begin.
But for the time being, why don't we go after Vicious Gobsped? He's moving closer to us, we can't permit that. We could auto-resolve, that's one option, sure. Would it be the worst one ever? Not really, no. However, if we do that, we're gonna lose too many units. It does say low, but that means I'll still need to spend 2 to 3 more turns actually replenishing. I don't want to do that. Let's quickly and easily destroy them. After Steingart was liberated, their men felt that it was their duty to come to the aid of Captain Otto and Gelt. With seasoned hunters and militiamen, our army has been bolstered by hardy, loyal soldiers. Savage orcs are no joke. They're able to deal a lot of damage, and they've also got savage orc warboys. If you have a look at that, 62 for a charge bonus, armor piercing damage, and decent leadership as well. That's why my great cannon crew is currently targeting them. For a good standard savage orc, they've got 29 for a charge bonus, 39 for weapon strength. My formation is poised right over here on a hill. I've got my mortar crew and my great cannons. They've got a clear line of sight. They're going to be able to weaken them quite a bit. Right down over here, we have my spearmen on our left flank. They're bracing. We've got our Free Company militia also holding out. Right behind them, our archers, who only have a missile strength of 19, but savage orcs have no armor. Now, in front of them, we've got our swordsmen and our captain. Right over here in the middle, we've got Gelt. Further to the right, more Free Company militia, more spears, and great swords behind them. My outriders who are now moving out are on my right flank, and here they come. That's what we're targeting right now. A lot of greenskins. We're just trying to minimize what we can. If we get rid of war boys, we won't have to worry about being flanked. They're orcs. They're not here to flank me. They're just here to fight. There we go. Free Company militia now attacking. They're able to attack while moving, but early on I use them in a much more stationary manner. There we go. Here we go. They're now charging in. While that is happening, it looks like right now one group has already broken. Our captain is charging in. I've got my great cannon now targeting their leader, who's taking a lot of damage. Let's have a more cinematic look at what is going on. My swordsmen are holding up. They're doing fine. We'll zoom out now just to have a better perspective of what is going on. My guards are over here just fighting a few savage orcs. Those orcs are getting a lot of kills too. Look at that. But they're also taking a lot of damage. They're a green glass cannon. Right over here, I've got my outriders attacking some orc archers. Unfortunately, they're not dealing too much damage. There's a Searing Doom hitting right over here in the group of savage orcs attacking my left flank. I try to avoid any friendly fire when I can. Free Company militia, already 25 kills. My guards and my greatswords, they're breaking them apart. Of course, my greatswords are pretty good in melee, but they're not having to worry about armor. A Plague of Rust on their orc war boss. He's got only 40 armor for right now. I'm currently moving in my watchers to flank our foes. I focused all of my fire on those arrow boys, which worked out pretty darn well. They're breaking now. Over here to my left flank, I've got my outriders who are chasing after our enemies. Yeah, they're doing great. Over here, we've got more savage orcs running. Back to the front line, their leader is now breaking. Look at that. Already, they have broken. It's a quick battle. My watchers, over 60 kills. I mean, we've got a bunch of people from a local militia who are coming in and scoring so many kills. Their leader is now running, so we get to chase after them and hopefully kill a few more without hitting any of our friends. But that battle is now over. That goblin and orc horde is now gone. I say goblin, but there's not a single one here. They're around. Just gotta, I don't know, shoot more until you find them. Yeah, while they run, I use whatever spellcasting I can to continue just killing off whatever they have. It's great to do that to really just minimize how much you might have to fight in the future if any survive. Did we gain any land? No, but here's what we did gain. 1 crown of command right over here. We're going to be able to make 1 ally unbreakable for a period of time. Could be quite handy. We've also got a lot of experience for Gelt in addition to a bit of gold. More importantly, he's currently rank 5. Very nice. 7 kills. Okay, we're going to take not that gold. We're just going to kill them. We're trying to rank up and we're trying to do so quickly. So after that battle, we're going to be able to follow up and again, gain a bit more. Here's where we're going to be able to auto-resolve. Done. So after that, ooh, we could use that giant blade. 15% to weapon strength plus 10 of a bonus when fighting infantry. That's even better. Okay. Yeah, hunting them down was a really good call. We've also got a messenger plus 6% to my campaign movement range. Wow. All for taking out one little army. Let's come back over here. So here's what we're gonna do. While we're waiting, we're just gonna pick up a few more infantrymen. Sure. One group of archers, one group of swordsmen, and one more group of spearmen. Done. That should do it. Averland does like us a lot, but now they're gonna like us more. There we go. Another 120 points. Eventually, we're gonna have them join us. Now, back over here to Gelt. He's currently level 5. We're gonna put a point over into Searing Doom. Then, Glittering Robe, and here's why. Plus 60 armor is a lot. That's gonna be able to change up some manner of exchange in battle by quite a large margin. Now, let's come over here to Captain Otto Holz. We're gonna put 1 point over here into Blade Master. Very good. We have a look. I could give the giant blade over to him for now. Gelt won't be able to really do much with it at all. So we'll do that. That means over here for Gelt, he's got the Grudge Settler again. The big thing about it is that it's got a passive ability. -8 to enemy leadership. We want Gelt to be close by, not in melee all the time. Early on, I do put him in that type of situation quite commonly, but we're not going to do that later on if we're able to help it. Before we come over here to Gristle Valley, we need to find out if there's any Skaven inside. I doubt there is. There's no Skaven corruption. That's a very easy tell. We could go straight into it and colonize, but if I do that, it's going to take me 4 to 5 or more turns in order to replenish my army, as many of your soldiers will have to be stationed over there and to help rebuild. There we go. A mount gained. That's great. You ranked up, rank 4. Put a point over here into Deadly Blade. Again, I want him to be able to hit our enemies often in battle.
Yes, my lord.
And because of his steed, he's going to be able to do a lot more. We're going to come over here to Fort Soll. So, there are no Skaven. In a weird way, that's a bad thing. I would rather fight them and take it than have to colonize. Colonizing is a huge pain. Instead, why don't we come down over here? We're going to have to change our plans often, at least whenever there's new situations arising. We could take over Karak Izor. That would be a great location. And while we do that, we'll gain more prestige, and maybe in time, Averland will come to join us. Well, that's really good news too. Wissenland is also able to trade with us. We're going to make a bit more money. Perfect, 461. It's not a lot, but again, we're trying to influence the neighboring factions. If they one day join us, we're going to have a lot of money and power. We've got a little event here. Stirland demands region, Flensburg. Historically, the region of Flensburg has been rolled over by Stirland, but is currently under the control of the elector count of another state. Interesting. He has asked for my help in restoring his rule over this land immediately. We could get Wissenland to like us a bit more, or Stirland. You know what? We'll choose Stirland. Done. Demand its return. +1 to my imperial authority. Look at that. More growth and more money. Okay, Otto, let's come down over here. I'm going to have him scout things out real quick. We could also advance right away. I'm going to think about it. Or for now, we could just maintain our strength where we're at. Look at that, 6 more turns to go, then we'll get our new spearman group. We're about to finish a bit of technology. We have nothing left over here to upgrade over in Solland proper, but that'll change in a bit of time. There we are, more control and more growth. Now, our technology, we're going to pick up our state troop standards. It'll take 5 turns. Not too bad, not too bad. The captain is going to move down and probably cause a few issues for them. But before we do that, let's declare war. We want to move in, and we want to move in right now. They're fighting the dwarfs. I wonder if they could beat the dwarfs. I don't really know. Oh, the wood elves. They're lingering. I do fear them. I fear no other faction but theirs. Now, Captain, come on down. If you're able to, I want you to hurt their units. Yeah, go after the main army. He doesn't have a high chance of completing his job, but if he does it, yeah, he did. He'll rank up and also weaken them. Here's another point. Perfect. 62 for melee attack. And look at that. They're pretty darn weak now. One more turn. They might even move out of their fort. If they do that, it'll be easier to take over. Solland is also able to upgrade. Okay. So now we're going to have a village. It'll take 4 turns for it to be completed. That happened so quickly. Confederation offered. Great strides have been made in your relationship with the state of Averland of late. Their elector count, Mary's Lightdwarf, has approached you with an offer of Confederation. The tenuously rolled lands of Mad Mary's Lightdwarf are fertile, sun-drenched plains which lie next to both the Black and World's Edge Mountains. This places the Averlanders in close contact with the dwarves, with whom they have a long and amicable trading history. I'll take it, yeah. If we do that, our authority in the Empire will go down, but we've got to, I believe. One faction destroyed. There goes one state. Now we have another. We've got to really look over what we need to get rid of. Oh, look at that. One Archlector. Some knights over here. Our upkeep has shot down. We don't want that. We don't need everyone up. Not right away. Look at that cost. Okay, so first off, we'll get rid of this army right over here. We don't need them. 1,500 down. That is not great for me. Though we do have a lot more land. That also means a bit more responsibility. We've got to watch out for the undead. Thankfully, they're not really attacking us right now. I want to keep our mortars, pistoliers, knights too. Get rid of our spearmen. In fact, what we'll do, we'll get rid of many of these soldiers over here. That way we're able to deliver the units I want to our main army. That'll be great. Yeah, so we'll lose a bit of money for a few turns, but it's going to work out. So Lightdwarf is going to come down over here. For Grinstad, oh, you've got to upgrade your defenses. For now, you're going to hold on to your clay pit. We've got a blacksmith. It's a tier 3 building. And over here, stables, tier 4 building. At least one day it shall be. Hold on to that. Blacksmith we'll hold on to for right now as well. Our control has gone down. I could go back for now and hold on to what I have, but we're so close. We could even burn it down if we don't want to hold on to it. Here's one enemy leader. I won't be able to assassinate him. So here's what we're going to do instead. We'll go after that blasted new leader of theirs, which means for now, we need our captain to come back over here to rejoin us. Perfect. See, right now, that means they're going to have to fight me on the field. That's going to be challenging regardless, but we've got a pretty strong army. A valiant defeat, high casualties, we can't auto-resolve. We've got to go fight them. We've got how many leaders to fight? At least 2. They've got nasty skulkers, a lot of archers, some trolls too. It's going to be a challenging battle. We're currently in a very unique situation. We've attacked only one enemy leader. Because of that, we could beat him, then end our battle. Or we could choose to stay here and fight the reinforcements, which is what we're gonna do. Captain Otto is currently riding out to go meet that great shaman. After he's dead, we could bring him back. Let's have a look at our current formation, or what we're gonna do with our formation. Our enemies are moving in right over here. We've got our outriders over to the right. They're gonna draw off maybe 1 to 2 to 3 enemy units, which is great for me. My front line, they're gonna hold up over here. Swordsmen right in the front. We'll have spearmen right behind them. Then my crossbows, archers, all of that. And for my artillery, they're gonna be back over here because they're very slow and we want them to be ready. My free company militia, I'll keep over here in the woods. They're gonna move a little bit more later on. That way they could flank our foes and break them apart. It's gonna be a challenging battle. If I fought them in a more fair manner, I would probably lose, but we've got to take advantage of what we have here. The captain, he's currently attacking. I've got my outriders currently moving in to help out, just to really expedite that battle. Here they are now, and already we're able to hit them quite hard. They're gonna have a hard time actually advancing towards us. We're currently overcasting our Searing Doom. That way we're able to maximize our damage against their really high numbers. They're moving towards us. It's going to take them a bit to really know how to advance. So in that confusion, we're just gonna hit them over and over and over. I've got my spears now intermingled with my swordsmen because we want to counter any trolls or other large units that they might have. Let's move back real quick. And there we are. They're advancing already. A few groups are melting away. Look at that firepower. They're just falling apart. Meanwhile, my men are doing just okay. They're just holding positions, and again, Gelt is casting another spell over here, another Searing Doom. That's a lot of damage. I keep on overcasting just to really weaken whatever they have. I want to ensure that we break them down early on. Before they get here, we don't want them doing well. I'm also trying to use my Great Cannon to target their trolls. There's a Plague of Rust to minimize their armor. They only have 10 now, and already they're about to break. Look at that. Those trolls are not going to be trolling for much longer. Meanwhile, I have my Free Company militia over in that small circle of trees. They're also firing in. The orcs are now moving in, attacking my swordsmen. They're also being debuffed as well, just because of our Runfang. Moving back out real quick to check things out. They have their leader who's currently attacking in my line. He'll probably deal a lot of damage and get a few kills. Here's another overcasted spell. They're falling apart. They've got a lot of archers, and eventually they're going to pick up many kills. So I'm trying to get my artillery to target their archers. That way they're not accidentally hitting our own line, and we're able to destroy them. There we go. They're breaking. No more nasty skulkers. Those guys deal a lot of damage, so we've got to watch out. Our captain is way over here attacking a group of orc arrow boys. And my outriders, they're attacking over here, trying to get rid of that great shaman. Let's go back. Another Searing Doom. If we check out the front line, it's going very well. We're just able to hold on without actually losing too many units. If it wasn't for our current plan, we would have lost so many more. And probably we wouldn't be able to take their town. We want that town though. We don't want any orcs close by. We're trying to build a buffer state in order to really maximize the safety of Solland. We're not a fan of orcs either. So over here, I've got my crossbows. They're still out there attacking, 94 kills. Here comes another spell. I'm not stopping. It might be a basic spell, but it's able to really hit so many different enemy models and just really maximize our amount of damage that we want to do whenever we're fighting a horde. And that's what we're fighting right now. Right down over there is where we're winning. Now they're running away. There's a few still around, but they're just trying to flee. We've already won the battle. It's all over now. Look at that. The battle has been won. If we look at our kills, my hunters have 90 kills. Over here, my Hawkeyes 122. My other Hawkeyes 118. My Hawkeyes are my crossbows. My hunters are archers. That's it. We beat them in a very limited amount of time. Again, my Free Company militia, almost 100 kills. My other group, 67. They're fantastic, especially early on.
There's a close victory. We lost only 135. They lost 1,302. Look at all that experience. All because they had Gozbag out there. If it wasn't for him, well, siege battle would have been much more costly. Goodbye to all of you. More experience from me. That was a great victory. Orc's Bane. Greenskin savages deserve no mercy but the sharp edge of a blade. +5 to leadership whenever we fight more greenskins. Great. And we've got our first steed for Gelt. Even better. Alright, here at rank 8, why don't we pick up the ward? 10% reduction to missile damage. No. I do like hold the line. I'm going to hold off on that because again, we want a bit more spell casting. Here we go. Metal shifting. More base weapon damage and armor piercing damage too. Triggers when casting spell. I do that a lot. Still have 2 points to use. I'll put one over here into the Golden Hounds. And after that, one more point over into Plague of Rust. There. Okay, Captain Holz will give one more point to you over here and hold the line. Perfect. We've got it.
a great ability.
Yes.
Alright. So back over to the Greenskins. Unfortunately, we do need to fight them anyway. By auto-resolve, I could lose entire units, and I would still lose by far way too many men. Let's have a look at that map real quick. It's going to be a dangerous one, but I do believe we're going to be able to do it. Karak Izor, known as the Copper Hold, is the first and largest dwarf hold outside the World's Edge Mountains. The mountain range it's a part of is called the Vaults, and as the name implies, it's known for its copper reserves. In time, Gelt may decide to return the hold to its former owners. While we do have the numbers we need to win, it's still a siege battle, and those are quite costly. You've got to have the numbers and whatever other advantage you're able to pick up. I'm gonna have to fight them bit by bit, which is really quite dangerous. Greenskins are mighty in melee combat. Right now, my great cannon is gonna go after their tower. They've not moved onto the wall, so it's better for me to get rid of it right now. If I don't do that, it's going to kill many of my soldiers. They've also got one arrow tower being built. While that is going on, I've got my mortars currently shelling them. I'm going to have Gelt and our captain move over to the gatehouse to break it down. That way we'll be able to move in. Then afterwards, my great cannon will break down a portion of their wall, because we need to be able to move in multiple locations. I could climb on the walls, but that's quite dangerous too. We'll get tired, and we'll also have to fight orcs up there, where I won't be able to use my numbers. They've got some trolls left. That's really the only issue whenever you fight an enemy army at the corner of a map. They're able to retreat and conserve their numbers, but that's okay. Look at that. Nothing is really at full power. We're just going to hit them a lot and take our time. I'm going to use a few units at a time, and we're going to buff them up. I've got glittering robes. I'm going to be able to enhance their armor, and already we've taken out one tower. That's really good. We just need to wait now and take down a few more things. I'm going to move up my forces right over here where my archers and crossbows and whatever else will be able to fire inside. My mortars are in a great position. They're able to do whatever they want. We've taken out that portion of the wall, and my forces are a bit closer, so now it's time for our captain and Gelt to move in. Gelt will get to the point where he's so low on health he'll probably want to break, but as long as he's not wounded, we'll be fine. There we go. They have no kills. They're being debuffed. 25 leadership is not great. I've got right now my spearmen moving in to counter their trolls. They've got anti-large abilities, so they're quite effective when fighting trolls. Those trolls over here have only 10 armor because I'm using a Plague of Rust. 30 seconds to go. Hopefully they'll break very soon. Here's where I broke a portion of their wall, and there's my glittering robe. So now we're really going to minimize the damage that we take. Look at them. They're just being cut down right now, or poked down. The great poking is happening. Come back over to the main gate, and that's where we're still fighting. What I try to do, especially in a siege battle, I try to rotate my soldiers. Sure, my spearmen might be tired after a certain point. However, I'm going to have fresh troops that are going to be able to move in and really finish the job. I don't want to really crowd all of my units together and have all of them be tired. They won't be as effective. Okay, so the enemy nasty skulkers use a smoke bomb. It's now gone. I've got my Searing Doom right behind them, damaging just all of them. We're able to use so much magic, which is ideal. Now, let's move back real quick. We come over here. Those trolls, they're weak. They only have a few left. And so we're just going to keep on fighting with Gelt right there. He's killed 32 currently. Another troll might die in just a bit. We're back over here. A Plague of Rust on Rend, the Orc War Boss. Meanwhile, Captain Otto is dueling an enemy war boss. For a human, that's a big deal. That's really hard to do. That is no easy feat. We're going to move back real quick and just have a look again. At the main gate, they're beginning to break. While all of that is going on, we have gunned down their arrow tower. However, it'll be back quite soon. As you well know by now, towers come back quickly. And they've not all broken yet because they are defending a town, so they get a nice buff to pretty much everything, which I do not like. So we're just going to keep on moving in. Gelt, he's very low on health. He's got 41 kills, but He's staying close by. I'm now moving him back. That way he's able to buff up our soldiers over here again. There's not really that many left. I've moved in my greatswords because they do need help, and Rend has been wounded. Otto got him. There we go. 22 kills right now. They're just over here, killing a few more orc boys. Look at what's left though. It's a lot. Eventually, I'm gonna have all of my free company militia move in. They're great to have on the walls. They're climbing up. Thankfully, they're eager and not too tired. They're gonna be shooting down over here. That's where they're gonna maximize their kills. The orcs are gonna move in and just take a lot of shots from above. So even though they're trying to attack my poor weakened spearmen, they're still gonna take damage. We're back over here. Captain Otto is still attacking. I'm really gonna push him harder than I should, but I can't help it. It's what I do. That's where we had another Searing Doom, dealing more damage to them. They have 1 kill right now, that one group of orc boys. Our militia on the wall, they're just getting into position. I have one group that's currently just shooting down at them. The other group is going to move down probably when it's a bit safer. That way we're able to shoot anyone who's close by and maximize our damage. So you look over here, 34 kills. We could use more. We're using what we can. There we go, more armor and a Searing Doom. It's great that we have so much magic to use. In the past, it wasn't always like that. It was like, okay, am I gonna buff or am I gonna deal some damage? But here I'm able to do 2 things at once. We'll come back down. The great swords are attacking some orc boys. Our captain is helping out. I've been maximizing his attack, but his defense really needs a bit more of a push for him to be able to stay in a battle for a longer period of time. He's got 69 kills now. Nice. The great swords have 51. They're buffed up and just really chopping down a bunch of orcs. These are brave men. They're moving beyond their borders right now, and there's another Searing Doom. Thanks to what Gelt is able to do, we're able to not only lend a bit of aid to our soldiers in combat, we're also able to deal a lot of damage. I mean, just really in a way that breaks our enemy's spirits. These orcs now have 13 kills. They'll probably get a few more, but they're wavering. It's over. They're broken. There's my free company militia shooting anyone who's moving in. We've got a group of goblins who are trying to charge in to help out. But look at that free company militia. And a few crossbow bolts are landing right on top of them as well. That's how we're staggering damage. Back over here, my great swords are about to win. They've not won yet though. Our captain is taking that high amount of damage. The more he's hit though, the better off our great swords are. They're not dying. Look at that, 85 kills, 89. The boys have been shattered. In fact, we'll probably shatter all of them before we're able to take over every part of the map. The big issue is that they break, but they come back. Unless they're shattered, then they're not coming back. We'll take over this point over here, which is linked to quite a few towers. Yeah, just by taking over one portion of the map, we'll negate all of their advantages. So we're back down over here. That's where our captain is getting ready to just say, hey, maybe I do need a break. He's killed 122 men, or orcs. They're not men. Look at that blood. What an onslaught too. Let's move back up. Over here is where I'm moving in more of my swordsmen. I want my spearmen to have a break. My free company militia, or my Steingart watchers, they're running and shooting. They're going to take a lot of casualties from enemy archer attacks, but also towers too. However, their damage output is so high, they're at least going to negate any enemy attacks. Now they're moving in. While that is happening, my great swords are moving back. 121 kills. The captain is still close by. I'm trying to move up my archers. It's not really that safe though. I was hoping that the boys wouldn't come back, but they did, so I had our captain charge in. Not the best choice if you want to keep a friend alive. He's going in though. He's just trying to take A little bit more damage for his men. Now the Watchers are about to take over that position. I was a bit hesitant to have them move in alone. Sometimes you just need to commit and say, hey, I'm gonna do it. I'll take some hits, but it's gonna be for the greater good of our entire army.
You can die when we have the walls!
You're right. We've got the walls. One unit is currently fleeing. It's gonna be our captain. He needs a break. He's got to be wise. We don't want him to die. Look at that, 127 for kills. I've got my hunters close by. They're attacking these orcs over here who want to attack, but they just can't do it. That's why they're dead. They've been pincushioned. They're gone. They're done for. We've taken over their point, and there goes all of their towers. Unfortunately, we are being hit by archers, so we are losing a few of our soldiers. 5 over here, 1 there. Over here, 0. Good. They'll get more kills. But I've got my swordsmen now moving in. Our reclaimers are about to reclaim Karak Izor. Here they come. I'm only focusing on parts of the battle where things are going on. And that's right over here. They do have shields, so they're able to negate a bit of ranged damage. They're charging in now. There we go. And so the men fight. Come back over here. I'm moving in all of my soldiers. I'm about to take over another gate. They're running away. Over here, I have another group of swordsmen charging after these goblin archers who have 0 kills as of right now. They're going to be butchered by my swordsmen. Veteran C3. 3 chevrons. That's a pretty big boost. We want more of that. As I told you before, my goal is to develop veterans. And over here is where we have my militia. Oh my god. They are so darn good. I love using them. Again, especially early on. The orc boys are done for. Oh, completely destroyed. And we won. They've all shattered. The battle is over, and we have taken a new hold. That was a tougher one, but we did manage to pull through. We lost 353 men. They lost it all. Now we're beginning to rapidly level up. I'll occupy that area too. Belongs to me. Their entire faction is gone now. Oh, the dwarfs are gonna love me. Might be a pain to hold on to, so we might end up using it in a trade. Otherwise, we'll be overextended. Okay, at rank 9 for Gelt, want to give him evasion over here for more speed and melee defense, or right now we could help with our magic. I would get that, but there's a few other more powerful spells I want over here to the right. Now for you, Otto, you fought very well in that battle. We've got to give you more melee defense. Or hittable, but you did hit them a lot too. So now we're going to need a few turns to replenish, but it should be okay. We've got other units we're able to pick up as well. And over here, we've got a new commandment. Let's pick up more control. We're going to need it. I'm going to destroy these buildings over here for right now just to change them up. I could use more direct income for now. And I've been using a few more of my points to get the Emperor to like me more. They're angry because I did initiate a Confederation. It's okay though. He likes me a lot more. One of your top advisors has suggested a way for you to increase your political standing within the Empire. Though you do not command all military activities in faraway lands personally, it is possible to have each state's annals updated to attribute past military victories to your own involvement and frame yourself as an inspirational military leader. To achieve this, you must contact your most trusted officials in each state and pull a lot of clandestine political strings, no small feat. We're not going to do that right now. I don't have the prestige, so I can't. But I do get a bit more because I said no. Now over here, we've got a new quest, 5,000 gold, 2 turns of higher replenishment, and a cloak of molten metal. That's going to be great for later on. Fire resistance, up to a max of 90%, incredible. We're at 10% if we pick it up. That's a very powerful cloak to have. But we've got to patch up. So let's head on back to our main army right over here. For this location, we're just going to pick up a bit more income. Like I said, I'll probably end up trading it. Move back over here to Fort Soll. Arius, you're on your way. We'll have pistoliers. We'll change up our army just a little bit there. And for building, we just need to upgrade Steingart. Great. Now for Averland, let's get proper defenses. We want that for sure. We want to ensure that it's able to hold on its own. And while we do that, we could pick up more control, or for now, more income. We'll get a weaving house. Over here, we can't get any further defenses. So again, we want a direct boost over to our income. We'll get another weaving house. After that, we're going to have a lot more money. Here we go. We're going to be able to import dwarf beer. Very nice. Karak, you have a deal. Let's do it. A non-aggression pact as well. We don't need to fight, do we? Balance offer. They'll give me a bit of coin. Propose offer. Now, let's go back. There is one faction I don't want to fight. The Wood Elves. I'm trying to avoid that. Could I beat them? Sure. Would it take a long time? Absolutely. They'll pay me again. Okay. Should be fine now. Let's keep on looking. The Border Princes, they do not want to trade yet. Frankland, I don't want to fight you. I shouldn't have to fight you. That would be strange.
I will.
Good. Our relations will continue to improve. The Border Princes have only one location. You know what? We shall trade.
Do not
Let's do it.
as a friend, nor are we foes.
Now
yet.
you'll give me a bit more coin as well.
Affirmative.
There we are.
By
We have a
the
lot more
comet.
trade coming in. So because of my choices here, we've got some decent income. Over 1,000 per turn. Let's come back. At Dwarf, I need 4,000 gold in order to open up my wine market. That's going to help out with trade, so we do want that as quickly as possible. Over here, my training field, we're going to destroy it because eventually we're going to bring it over to Steingart. It needs only 2 more turns. In fact, I'll destroy it right now. Averheim is doing fine. I could upgrade over here Grinstad. If I do that though, I won't be able to afford my wine market. We're going to have to wait for right now. And we've got our new units. The Sons of Averheim. And over here, Averland's Gift. And finally, Grinstad Lancers. So, Mary's Light Dwarf was going to come over here to rebuild Gristle Valley. The Wood Elves took it over. That's fine. They're not going to bother me. We do have a few choices after our quest battle. We could come over here to the Western Border Princes where we've got to fight ogres and pirates, undead pirates. Or we could move down over here and fight Talea, which is, again, controlled by the pirates of Sartosa. That means we would have to help out the dwarfs. That might be an issue. They're currently fighting 2 factions, one being Bretonnian. They're not fighting either faction, unfortunately. Might leave them to their own devices, but we do have options. We also need 1 more turn to fully replenish. Yeah, we don't have much left to go, but we want to be at full strength if we want to get our cloak. Now here's the situation. I've got over 4,000 gold. My income has gone down by just a bit. And right now, Nordland is under attack. I could help them out. If I do that, they're gonna like me more. I could send out scouts. Their fealty would go down by 1. I don't have the prestige to hire any mercenaries, and I could just say, hey, you're on your own. If I send out men, though, they're gonna like me a lot. Oh, here's a battle. We could just let them take control and have fun with it. It is fun to watch our allies fight, but let's auto-resolve. We have more important matters to really worry about. There, I'll take some money. And over here, we've got state troop standards. If I let them go and they pay me, let them hunt down the survivors. So we've got more leadership and more speed. I've got over 5,000 gold, even better. Let's come back over here and build up my wine markets. Oh, that's going to be great to have. And after that, we could pick up even more income. That would be a very easy choice. My other option is to wait to get stables. That would also be valid too. Now, it's time. Let's go fight a major battle. We've got to get a bit more power, and it's right over here. The enemy necromancer is currently being targeted by our great cannon. It's taken some damage. My mortars in the very beginning decided to attack their black knights over here. That's fine. It won't deal a lot of damage, but if our enemy mounted units are weakened, that would only benefit us. Zombies are fine. They're numbers. They're padding. But we do need to get rid of their warriors. Eventually, they're going to move forward, but While they wait, that gives me some pretty good time to just use my artillery, and we've got a lot of it. There we go, right now. Already taking out a few of their melee units. Our own formation is a bit checkered. So we've got our swordsmen. Right in between them, we've got our militia. Over here is Gelt. On the front lines, we've got Otto. We keep on having a look. We've got our cannon over here and 2 groups of our mortars. Those crews are going to be busy. And I've got my pistoliers pretty close by with my outriders. Right over here are my outriders. And right behind them are my pistoliers, our sons of Averheim. Let's go back real quick. There we go. Whenever the Necromancer gets a bit closer, I'm going to have my ranged units focus on him. He's got only 15 armor, so he's easily able to be focused down. We don't want him bringing in more zombies or using healing spells. Now they're finally beginning to move. My knights, I'm not having them move too much. There's a reason why they're stationary over in the trees. It's a bit strange, but I just want them to lure enemies over here, and I want those enemies to fight them in the woods. That way, we can focus on the rest of their enemy force. I have only one knightly group, and they have many more mobile units, like dire wolves. They've got black knights, and wraiths. Those won't be easy. If I use my Searing Doom, that's going to deal a lot of damage to them. They'll take a lot more from magical damage than anything else. Dire wolves are pretty damaging in combat, a charge bonus of 28. I'm now moving in my men right over here. I've got my spears close by, my first Solland guards. Our braves are holding. Look at that chevron. They're veterans. They're good. There we go. My sons of Averheim, they're not attacking. It'll take a moment, but they'll get more kills. The mortars are still quite busy. They're going after a group of skeleton warriors who are now being killed up. Yeah, waste your magic. Do that. Let's have a look at a more macro view of our battlefield. My artillery is going after more skeleton warriors. They're now moving in on my right flank. Our left flank is now under assault. We've got our glittering robe. I could have used it on my spears, but here they are. They're going to have to move in very soon. My sons are now moving up just a little bit. Here comes my braves. They're attacking too. And there's a Searing Doom. That dealt a lot of damage to those wraiths. Back over here on the front line is where we have our enemies who are now moving in. My Free Company militia, they're still attacking continuously. Our swordsmen are holding. They're in a guard mode. I don't want them to move at all. They just need to wait over here. The knights are also moving in. Good job, militia. Unfortunately, we do have enemy reinforcements who are now coming to attack. Yeah, right over here, we're just attacking all of them together with my knights. My knights are meant to just be stationary. I now have my pistoliers moving into a new position to flank our foes. Another Searing Doom to break apart the wraiths. That worked out quite well. Back over here is where we have a flying vampire lord. Well, not flying on his own. He's on a steed, a flying steed. And many fell bats. That's going to cause an issue. That's when I go, oh no, I probably need to move back a bit. My sons of Averheim are now moving back too. We're going to try to focus down a few fell bats. We're back over here. Ooh, he buffed up one of his units. My poor braves are now having to hold a position that isn't really tenable. But there's a glittering robe to buff them up. My outriders will have to move back. That enemy vampire lord is targeting Gelt, so we also need to move him back too. Let's check out the battlefield real quick. Over here is where I use one Searing Doom to go after their wraiths. They took some damage. They've got 21 kills. We're holding everywhere right now. I've got my great cannon trying to target that vampire lord. Lothar Jaeger, the hunter. Back over here, my pistoliers continue to attack their fell bats. We've killed a lot of knights, but there's still a lot over there. They're coming after my outriders, but I've got to wait here too. There's a Plague of Rust who reduces armor by 30. He's got 40 now. Gelt is charging in. Our captain is also fighting a vampire lord. That vampire lord has 61 kills already. It didn't take him long to get that many kills. Our reclaimers are holding at 42 kills. Gelt is nearly done for. He's got 73 kills, but he's taking too much damage. My poor greatswords, I've used a Crown of Command on them, so they're unbreakable. They're just holding. They've got to. Back over here, I'm now focusing every ranged unit on that blasted Vampire Lord. And Captain Otto was able to do it. We've beaten him. That's it. That Necromancer died too. He fell apart, and now we've won. We've done it. The battle is over. After that incredible battle, we now have our Cloak over here, in addition to picking up a new follower. That's going to be nice to have. Yeah, he's right over here. +2 to control. But only my captain will be able to equip that entertainer. That's fine. He's got it. That's going to help quite a bit. You've got 2 skill points to use, Captain Otto. Let's give you Hard to Hit again. And Foe Seeker. Done. He's been incredible. Now for Geld. We need to pick up Transmutation of Lead to debuff our enemies. Final Transmutation to damage all of our foes. And over here, let's pick up a bit more magic. Done. That's going to help out a lot. Due to our increase in levels, we've got 2 new regiments of renown. Death Jacks, and over here, Sigmar's Sons. They're going to be nice to have. And we're also going to need some time to replenish. Thankfully, not too much time. We've got a lot of gold. Wood Elves are close by, but they're not bothering me. Good thing we have a lot of gold, because right now we've got to build up quite a few buildings. We still have our debuff. It'll be gone in what, 1 more turn? Great. Over here in Fildorf, we're going to pick up our blacksmith. Yeah, there we are. That'll do it. Then over here in Steingart, we're going to build up our training field. Now, Averland. Got to have a tier 2 village, because we need to build up walls right over here in case anyone comes to attack me. My authority is still quite low. We've got to work on that too. We've got many issues we need to worry about. Thankfully, Fort Soll is going to be able to upgrade. There we are. That's all of my gold, but man, we're powerful. Or I could say, hey, let's wait on that just to pick up my new units, but we'll see in time. I'll probably save up my prestige. We could use it to get a few other factions to like me. In fact, let's check on our diplomacy again. Takes only a moment. No one would like to really treaty, not right now. That's understandable. Okay, so we've got 2 major choices. We could potentially actually make it 3. We could potentially move over here and begin fighting the undead to the east. Or we could begin to expand down south. Again, that means fighting either ogres or over here, the Pirates of Sartosa. Let me know what you think. We end our first chapter here now. Pretend for a moment that you are members of the war council that Gelt has. You can feel free to provide any advice to him, and if you would like to recommend any names for units, towns, or whatever else, you can do so. I would like to also take a moment to thank all of you, whether you're a Patreon YouTube member or you've just left a comment. Thank you for watching, and as always, until then.